The majority of people are going to lose focus within the first 6 seconds of this video. And for those people that have already clicked off, I can't help them. But if you stay with me and you give me your focus, I promise you within the next couple of minutes, I'm going to give you some information that can absolutely change your life. So first, I'm going to go over what deep work is and why it's so valuable. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is and some tips I have for applying it and improving your focus and stuff in general. So let's get started. All right, so basically, attention spans are getting worse and worse over time. And this is because the entertainment industry and things like that are getting better and better at holding your attention. But the problem is that when you have things like really highly edited videos or short little clips that grab your attention, it makes it harder for you to decide to focus on the things that you want to focus on. Because you have thousands and thousands of people that are employed and their job is to hold your attention. And they're going to create things that are going to hold your attention. When you get distracted and pick up your phone or you want to watch something instead of what you're doing, that's not by accident. That is carefully crafted things that people have put together. And for you to decide what you want to do, there's only one person that's in charge of, motivating you to do that. And there's one person that wants your focus that way. So it's literally you versus thousands. And I know that can be scary at first, but there's a kind of positive spin on it. And that is that because, this ability to focus is becoming, rarer and rarer, it's becoming also increasingly more valuable. And talent, this type of talent to be able to focus is not a linear thing. By being able to focus 10 times better than someone, it's not just 10 times, it's huge. And the really cool thing is, an example of this is like the singer example. So if you have 10 like decent singers, it doesn't equal Madonna in terms of, the amount of following that person will have and, the quality of their music and such. And the cool thing about it being exponential is that by putting your focus into things that are exponential, it can really, skyrocket your potential. And it's just the best places to be putting your interest. And there's also this kind of really sad thing over here that our attention is slowly diminishing lower than a goldfish, which I don't know how they found out a goldfish's attention span, but nonetheless, it's very sad. Okay. So what is deep work? And also the converse of it, what's shallow work? So deep work is basically anytime you're, learning something or actively having to like put your brain on a specific task. And shallow work is kind of the types of tasks you can do without focusing. It's something that's almost automatic for you. And the difference here is that in deep work, you're learning new things. And in shallow work, you're taking advantage of the things that you already know. And by being able to do deep work, you put yourself in a place where you're continually growing because the tasks that you're assigned to are ones that are going to, teach you more. And typically you can focus on in these deep work segments for up to like 90 minutes or so before it becomes, very difficult. Most people, it won't be up to that point right away, but that's just a general marker. And the main thing about deep work is it has to be all of your focus. There's no multitasking, no distractions. This is your focus for this period of time. That's a deep work segment kind of. And here's some more examples that you can look over. You can pause the video and check them out to make sure you have a good idea of what deep versus shallow work is. And now we're going to go into specifically some of the, things you can apply. So advice for deep work. So the first thing, you need to have zero distractions. The top four of which being eating, sleeping, intercourse, and taking a break from hard work and kind of shifting to something that's, more pleasurable to do, easier, that doesn't take mental effort. And the main thing here is people may think, oh, I'm just going to take a little 5 seconds. Let me just check my phone. Let me just do this. And the problem isn't that you're wasting those 5 seconds. It's that it's not just 5 seconds. When you shift your attention from one thing to another, when you shift back, your brain doesn't just, forget about that. A lot of the focus that you put on that carries over, and for the next couple of minutes will still kind of be in your mind. So when you don't let yourself get distracted by anything, it really helps you kind of like, compound your focus and really, really not be letting all these different things be in your head. So next thing, willpower is like a muscle. So basically, you can work it out over a day, and then it kind of like you'll sleep and it'll recover, or you can take breaks and kind of recover it a little bit. But over the day, typically your willpower to be able to do, deep work and high focus activities is going to diminish. And that's why it's really important to kind of schedule things in between to be able to help you kind of rest and have as many of these deep work segments as you possibly can. So what I like to call them is productive distractions. So there's certain things that you're going to be doing in the day either way. So this could be something like cooking or eating, or maybe a workout for you, or things like that. So you can, let's say you start your day and you can immediately be working for a certain amount where you can really focus because you're kind of fresh, And then when you get distracted, being bored, it's a sign that you need a break because your brain isn't really focusing when you're bored. So let's say you worked for a bit, now you need a break. It's time you can go make breakfast, you can go, eat a little bit, and then brush your teeth, maybe have a little break and get back to it. But the important thing about this break is it needs to genuinely be a break for your mind. Your brain just went through a segment where it was really devoting itself, taking in a lot of information, and you need to give it time for it to kind of passively, recover and think of this. And for that to happen, it needs to not have more distractions. So you need to not be bombarding it with information from whether it's music or watching, things or whatnot. It needs time to kind of just let the information settle almost. And then when you're done with your break, you can do another one. And when you lose focus again, you can go do another thing. Maybe that's working out, whatever it is. But there's these things that you're going to be doing in the day either way that you can schedule in between those segments. And the most important thing is to make sure you don't do your shallow work first. So this is things like maybe you need to send some emails, maybe you need to do some scheduling, things that you're already good at, things that don't take any mental effort. You could do them, the busy work. And you want to schedule this busy work for the very end of your day when you no longer have, the ability to really focus all that much. And the way it's described is like, let's say you have a jar and you put rocks in it. That's like the deep work. And then you put the sand in it and the sand can fill it all the way up. But if you start the day with the sand, then you're not going to have space for the rocks later. So basically you can get more done if you put the hard work first. Same thing would happen with like working out. If you do like a bunch of lightweight, bench presses, for example, and then you do the heavy ones after, you're not going to be able to do the heavy ones. But if you do the heavy ones first, then you can go back and you can do this lighter ones still. And then also environment very, very, very much matters. So one example of this is, let's say you have an area that you get easily distracted in. That's not where you want to be going to study. Or if you can't really work out on your own, you want to go to a gym where it's, a place that is easier to focus because there's so many people around you doing the same thing. That's why libraries are so effective for studying. And a slight side tangent on this is you don't want to be using your bed for things other than sleeping generally, because if you're only sleeping in your bed, then your brain relates it to sleep. So every time you get in your bed, your brain's like, okay, it's time to sleep. It's time to relax. And you kind of want these different environments for your brain to be like, oh, we're at the gym. It's time to work out. Or, oh, we're at the library. It's time to study. Or, if you have a certain area that you sit in, or, whatever it is, to really be able to get in the mood and get in the environment for you to, do the things that you have to do. All right. So I also wanted to include at the very end, this is just all the notes. So let me duck out for a second. So you can pause there and check that out if you want. But these are all the notes I had from reading Deep Work, and I added a couple of other things from just general stuff I thought of. But hopefully you found the video useful, and thanks for watching. I'll duck out again so you can pause it if you want.